called? What's that class? Computer science. Yeah, that's what I'm certified in.
Well, computer science is a graduation requirement, and Girls
Yeah.
Who Can Code is a program that Miss Lane is running, and it also helps you get employment in case you don't want to go to college or the military. So it's just something to think about. You need to talk to her. Miss Lane, are you there? I see her listed because she said she has you for a class too.
Yeah, I got her first period.
Yes,
Right? You
yes,
have
I'm here.
okay.
I'm in the middle of doing an assignment, so I'm working
Okay,
that.
so Ms. Richardson, while she's on the line, did you have any questions for her about your class before I start?
I was
Hey, Miss Richardson,
hey, I was
how you doing?
fine. They was who was telling me about it? I think it was Mr. Ortiz. Mr. Ortiz was telling me about the class. I never got a chance to ask you about it, but I was gonna ask you because I know a lot about computer science because I took it my sophomore year and my freshman year
Oh,
with
okay, well then
coding and stuff.
you could be like my assistant then, huh?
Yeah, so it was real hard, but I had got the hang of it sophomore year.
Oh, okay, so what programming language did you use?
Um, what was it? What was the software? Adobe. I think we did Adobe. I don't know. I'm not for sure.
Adobe.
Yeah.
Uh, um,
It was a couple more, but I don't remember. Cause
did you ever use
I ain't gonna lie,
Scratch?
I used to hate that class because it was my challenging class. Like that's the class that I couldn't do it, but it's like I ain't had no choice but to do it. So I finally had got the hang of it, and I liked it.
Miss Richardson, Miss Lane asked you a good question.
What she say?
You're not in my computer science class. Okay, I've got to go. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Now that
Okay.
means Lane's got to stay and Overdeck got to go. But what I'm saying is this: the Girls Can Code program, it has internships for ladies. Have you seen the movie Hidden Figures?
Yeah, I heard it.
So you
I
know about
watched it actually.
so you seen the three black women that helped NASA get rockets around the planet, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so there's mathematics involved with computer science, but more especially, ask you, have you done Scratch before?
Like write a code from scratch.
No, no, no. The program Scratch.
No, I don't think I
Okay,
did that one
so
before.
you need right. So you need to get with
Oh,
her on that.
remember the other day when I had the thing with Mendel, and it was like a show, like a play with Mendel. Was you there the other day when
Oh yeah,
class when I?
I think we did. I think we did. I think I do know
Okay,
what you're talking about.
yeah. So so you go do that. You gonna do that exact same thing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that was Scratch.
I didn't
So
know that.
so here's the thing. You're not one of my computer science students, and Miss Lane is handling science fair, and that's where you get to exhibit or show your Scratch projects to the world, and it's possibly scholarship money. And then you also, because she does aquaponics, it's coding involved with that. You also can get an internship where you work the first 2 years at $20 an hour. So give me a second. I'm gonna show you that screen. And again, you got to talk to her about getting on board with that. So,
Yeah, cause I'm real good at coding. It took
well,
me a
then
long time to get it, but
that's a way to work from home, right?
yeah.
Right. So what you got to understand is, I'll send you the links because I don't see it on my browser. I thought I had it up already, but basically, there's a program, an internship program that Miss Lane is working with me on, and it helps you, get gainful employment. If after 4 years of the program, the company will hire you and you'll have a real job without college debt. Okay, so I really want you to look into that. Okay, because you can go to
Okay.
college and gain a considerable amount of debt. All right, now, Miss Lane, I'm sorry, Miss Overdyke left. You can just stay muted. I got to go through this problem with her, and then I can get off the phone so you can get back to your day. But when I'm working with students, Miss Richardson, I have to actually have another staff member in there. They're
I
in the
know Miss
one-on-one.
Lane told me last time.
Oh, she talked to you about it? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So I don't need to explain all that. But your question was about the second problem, right? So you're on a laptop?
I'm on my phone. I got my book though. So I can
Okay.
write my
Okay.
notes
So write
down.
down as many notes as you
Mike,
can,
Mike.
Miss Lane.
If you excuse me, Mr. Tyler, I'm in the middle of getting tutored myself, so I'm going to mute you all just a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
All you gotta do is stay in the room. That's fine.
okay.
All right, thanks. So, Miss Richardson, let's go through this, right? Now,
Okay.
if you're in SB, you'll see the problem. That's the second problem. Because you're like, I need help on this. No problem. Did you get the notes from earlier?
I got half of it, or the first one. So
Okay, so let's go back to the notes then. Give me one moment.
Because the classes I got right now.
So, oh, I found my email.
No, but the classes I got right now is
Let me show you this real quick. I didn't know I found my email.
right. The next
One
semester
second.
I'm changing. I'm changing.
So let me pull this over here so you're not looking at everything I got to do today. But this is what I was trying to show you and I couldn't find it. And I just found it.
I already know. It's too late.
Okay, there we go.
Right.
And there it is. So if I go to, and this is a program that Miss Lane works with, um, she's helping because not everybody's in computer science class with me first period. So she's taking over the science fair exhibition and also uh, what I want to say is the pathway to get to these internships. So as you see here, computer science courses you will learn in this program about 20 city colleges of Chicago courses, and they'll help you with paying for that. And then there's an
mhm.
apprenticeship or internship I call it, where you make about $20 an hour per week. So there's something you really want to take advantage of. But the only way to get the skills to start out, you see, computer science is to work with the Girls Who Code program that she
Yeah.
is currently running, right? So
Hmm.
in year 3 and 4, you'll have full-time employment with a company that recruits you if you get better at it, and you don't incur any student loans or tuition. Okay.
Really?
You got to first get the skills, but yes, really. So you got to put the work in, get in touch with her. Okay. All right. Now,
Okay.
problem, I'm going to, because we can't be on here all day, but I'm
Okay.
going to give you the notes that you missed. And then we're going to talk about the algebra in the next segment of the problem. So here's the first segment of notes. The only thing you have to do is make sure that the notes look the same way that I have on the screen. So I'm gonna put it in a chat. You can write it down. I'm gonna give you about 2 minutes,
So
and
what
then
you
I'll
gonna
give
do?
you the next segment.
Okay. I'm gonna write it down real quick.
Okay, so it's in the chat too, but you
Okay.
gotta make it look the same way as my screen. Okay. So I'm gonna set a clock for 2 minutes, and you basically got to copy all those notes down. That's to start the first problem off. You said you didn't have all the notes. So I'm just going through all the notes one more time because I want to get into the algebra of the second problem. In case you, how good are you at algebra?
I suck at math. Period. Like math is my
Algebra is
worst
not your
subject.
thing. Okay,
Like
it's
I
okay.
be
Well,
crying in here
but you
somewhere.
practice and you get better. So just write the notes down, and when I go through the algebra steps, I'm try to see if I can get you some algebra Khan Academy videos that help you work through algebra, so you don't like say what you just said. You'll be okay. Math is an African art. All black people know it, but you got to practice it. It's not going to come to you.
Which time?
So at the end of this buzzer, I'm going to put the next segment of notes that you probably missed in class.
Okay.
I'm really not feeling my birthday. So I'm staying until Monday. I mean Sunday. You know, I said I'm only staying for 2 days. I gotta go back to class. Ooh, fuck you.
I mean, I am in class.
Okay.
You always want to pull that on somebody.
Finish taking your notes. Stop being my business.
That'd be so funny though.
I know it. Why you in class?
Stop, Goofy.
All right, Miss Richardson, you okay? Might have just
Yeah.
knocked your bonnet off your head. You all right?
You knocked my button off my head.
So the next part of notes I'm gonna put in the chat again. I know you want to write it down, but the video, and I'll also send you the transcripts, which is the notes written out in a notepad form to your email address. But I gotta say, your
Okay.
email address, I want you to put it in the chat because it wasn't correct. It bounced back and said wrong email address. So you gonna be okay?
Yeah. Can you
Like you fighting over there. So
Why
I'm
you
gonna
doing
need you
that
to.
in
Oh
class?
Lord. Oh goodness.
Let me put this on
We
mute.
only got so much time over here, Miss
Okay.
Richardson.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm about to put the next set of notes in the chat. Again, this video I'm gonna send to you in SB, and if you send me the correct email address in the chat,
Okay.
I'll send it to you there too.
Did you see I sent you my email on ASB?
Yeah, I did, but it was the wrong email address. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
It was.
Yeah,
Okay.
you might have typed
I'm
something
gonna send
wrong.
you the right one. Let me
All
write.
right, so here's the next start set of notes. I put it in the chat of Google Meet if you see it on your phone, or later on today you check the video out and you do what I did on the screen. Make sure your things are crossed out. If you have questions, I'll try to reach out to you tomorrow morning. But we're at the end of the day, so you have till 8 p.m. This is asynchronous work to do the next steps because it's
Okay.
4:17. And I want to at least leave this at 4:40, 4:30 if I can.
Okay. I just sent you my email.
Okay.
The right
You
one.
sent it in SB or you sent
Oh,
it
I
in the
sent the
chat?
wrong one. Yeah, I sent the right one. I sent it in ASB.
Okay, I'll try that out. All right. So did you get the next set of notes?
Um, this for number 2, right?
This is no. This is still all part of the
This
homework
still
process.
all part one. I
Yeah.
didn't get that. I didn't get this.
Yeah. You might want to get that down. So
Okay.
some students they take pictures of it, or you could take it from the chat.
I'm gonna take a picture of it because I ain't gonna read around with it.
Go ahead, because we still got to
I'm gonna
do the second
screenshot it.
problem. But that's the final answer to the first in class or synchronous problem.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna put about maybe a minute. You take a picture, or you get it
I
copied
just I
here.
just screenshotted it.
You got it.
Hmm.
Okay. So a couple more things. Now the homework problem, because we got to come back to the simulations. In the
Okay.
homework problem, I'm gonna set up your known and unknown values. So known values. I want you to write this down or screenshot it, as you say. And unknown. What do we not know? And that's basically what is the problem asking you? Right. So it says what in the problem. We got to use an earlier equation. And I hope you've seen this. If we go
I'm
back
seeing
to the
it.
top, right. So if we go back to the top in these notes, I gave you an equation to use. Right. So
Hmm.
r squared, that's going to be distance. It's talked about here in distance. Right. And then Q, that's your charge. K, K is your electrostatic constant, as you can see here. So I explained that in the notes. We're using the same procedure on problem 2. So let's look at some known values. Like, what is the problem telling us we have? We see here it says the electric potential in problem 2 for the homework is 1.1 meters.
1.1.
So that's R, right? And it's
Hmm.
equal to 1.1 meters. Physics, that's why I love physics. It is what it say it is. Next, what else did the problem give us? Well, you see, it says
They give us
go ahead,
the
what?
charge.
Right, the 2.8. You see that?
Hmm.
So that is the electric potential. That is V, which is equal to the 2.8 times 10. And you're going to put 4 here, but you got to raise it to an exponent. So you highlight it after you type 4, format, and raise it to a power 4. I'll come over and turn this off because it'll stay right in uppercase or exponent level. And that's measured in volts. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So next is, what is the question asking you?
It
Right.
was asking me what is the volume of the charge of Q.
The charge. Very good. So that's Q, right? Which is
Hmm.
equal to some number we're going to calculate in terms of coulombs. Okay. So this is all physics. Things are measured. That's why we have time on most of these constants and values. You have to monitor it. If you don't, it'll monitor you. So the K part of the equation is here. That was in the beginning problem. So I'm gonna
Hmm.
copy that from here. because you're using this equation I'm about to put in the chat. Put it again for you. So that's another known value there. All right. So what equation am I talking about that we got to do algebra on? Well, if we come up here, you see V for volts is equal to the electrostatic constant, which is multiplied by the charge Q. We got to get Q by itself and divide
Mhm.
it by distance. All right. So I'm going to take this equation that I gave you already, and I'm going to put it here. And we're going to call this down here strategy. So what's the strategy? Oh, I hope you're taking screenshots and writing it down because this is how you do the homework problem.
Uh
And
huh.
I'm only going to do so much, but you got to solve the rest. It's supposed to be a
Okay.
homework problem. All right. So what's the strategy, right?
The strategy is
I
the
was going
V,
to tell
right?
you. Well,
Are you gonna tell me?
the strategy is to use algebra, right, to solve for charge, or as we call it, Q, right? So we're going to use this equation to do that I showed you a moment ago. Now we got to use algebra. You say you don't like math, it's okay, but with practice it'll be all right for you. So I'm gonna go through the steps algebraically, and you got to write them down and practice it on your own. Because when you have a quiz, you're gonna do this on your own. You might have to solve for K by itself, and you still do algebra, same rules. So I'm gonna put this here, and we're gonna work on getting Q by itself. Okay. So how do we do that? Well, let's start with what's next to this fraction where Q is contained. We can say, hey, I want to divide. Let's put all this in parentheses.
So you want to?
This value by what? K, because K is sitting there and we don't want it there no more. So this is the change to the equation. All right. What you do to one
Mhm.
side, you got to do to the other. So that's the algebra part.
What you
Take
say?
this. You said what I say?
Yeah, I'm listening. I was just
Right. So all I did is I divided K on both sides of the equation.
okay.
Well, not divide, I multiplied. If you can see the steps. Now I'll put them in the
Yeah, I
chat
see.
for you. Okay. So I can cross out what now? K is divided by K because we divided, we multiplied it on both sides. So I can cross that out. And this K is gone too. That's gone. So now we have a new equation, right?
Mhm.
Let's rewrite it. So this K is gone and this is gone. Now we have a new equation that we got to work with.
Okay.
So Q is still not by
Equal.
itself, right?
Mhm.
So we got to figure out how to get R2 on the other side of the equation. So to do that, remember R2 is being divided. So what I'm going to do is multiply by R2. Grab this. And what you do to one side, let me make sure I show you the change in the steps, because engineers call these iterations. So let's do that. What you do to one side, you got to do to the other. So we pretty much multiplied to get R2 by itself. So this is going to be R2 over here as well. Right? Now what cancels out? Let's take a look.
Okay.
Well, we know R2 is divided by R2, so that goes away. Cross that out. And this doesn't cancel anything over here, so it stays the same. This parentheses is gone too, if you can see what I'm doing. So now
I see it.
what is our new equation now? We just rewrite it with what we have. So we know, I'll fix this up for you. We know that Q is now by itself, and then the last step is, of course, just putting in our values from our known and unknown. So let me rewrite this. All of this is gone, really, and this is all going to be equal to Q.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're ready to calculate everything. Let's put the values in, and then you're going to calculate the final answer using Simulab. I'm also going to put in the chat what you need for your simulation. But what is this going to be? So if we look at it, our electric potential voltage is equivalent to what? We wrote in our known values. That's just 2.8 times 10 to the fourth power volts. It's a lot of voltage. Shock you. Parentheses around this, and I'll plug it in. And then what about K? That's our electrostatic constant. Well, I told you what it was a moment ago from our
Thank you.
earlier problem, right?
Uh-huh.
We got that part. All right, what else do we have to do? Well, we got to look at what R squared is. Parentheses around that, and R squared was the distance they gave us. That was 1.1 meters. Okay, I'm going to take that from here and put that there. Okay, so far,
Really?
okay, so things are going to cancel out. So newtons, coulombs, meters, they cancel, and meters cancel. All of these things cancel. So let me show you the step that does that. And all that's left is coulombs. So this cancels and cross it out. And all of this jazz cancels. And so does the volts. At the end of it, what pops out all of that is basically coulombs. Okay, so that's the next step. So let's get to the final steps, calculating it, and that's what you're going to have to do. So let me get rid of this and just clean up the equation for you, because all these things that canceled out is what I'm removing. So the equation gets smaller. Awesome. All right, so now I'm going to show you a tool to calculate the final answer and put Q is equal to, this will be up to you to figure it out by using the tool, and I won't put the answer there, some number in coulombs, and it's going to be on you to use this tool. Now, let me show you how to use the tool. Before I show you, I'm going to put in the chat the simulation you got to put in your document, and I want you to review the video. The video is already on there in YouTube form, so you can go back, look at the video, and see the simulation steps. All right, but what about Simulab, right? So
What about what?
Simulab is how you calculate it online.
Okay.
I'll put it in the chat so you can use it. I'm also going to send you the notes from the chat, so you can always go back and try out some of these links or review the notes. So Simulab is what we
Okay.
use to calculate the final answer. We did that in class. Let me put this here for you. Okay. So you have that.
Okay.
And then let's type it in and finish the problem off. But I'm not going to hit enter. I want you to do these steps so you get comfortable for quizzes. So our first value is 2.8. And if you click on the link, this is what I'm using, right? And it's multiplied by 10. You have to raise it to a power. So you click on this superscript button, and that's 4. I mean, multiply by what? Well, use parentheses, 8.99 multiplied by 10. You're going to raise it to a power again. So click on the superscript. This is X with a box button, and it's 9. And lastly, you want to multiply it by one last parentheses. That's 1.1. You're going to raise that to a power of 2 because it's got to be squared. So you can click on that. All right. So this is what you got to have. And put it in chat so you can.
This is how I get my
Your final answer.
answer.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So do that.
That was a lot.
And put in what Q equals to in coulombs. It's not a lot. You're doing work related stuff, believe it or not. So just tough through it. You'll be all right. You stop people from knocking your bonnet off. You can do this math. So let's keep going. You need the simulation for today, and that's this. So I'm gonna put the link in there. I want you to take a snapshot, if you can, or a screenshot of what you have to create to get credit. So in the chat, you see the link, but what you need to do is click on the link and then go to this site. Once you're in this site, you're going to change the plates, and you're going to take a print screen to show the electric field, and you only need one for 1.5 volts. So I know you're trying to get used to the class. Okay, all these settings have to be made. So take a picture of this, and when you're done, make sure you put the picture in your Google Doc. You could also go to the link and do the same thing I did from what you did to see in the picture. Take a snapshot and put it in your Google Doc. Okay. So let me get you the video for today's class. It's 4:30. We're doing great on time. And you got till 8 to get this all done.
Okay, and it's only two, right?
Only two what?
It's we only gotta do these two problems, right?
Yeah.
The
I
one
give you
from
notes for the
earlier and
first
then second.
problem. Right. And you turn it in
Okay.
before 8 and you got credit for today. So hold
Okay.
on. Let me
But
give
you know I got a lot of missing work for you. A lot.
you
Like
going to have to catch up. All
so
the videos
much.
are there. Let me get this video for you now. All the videos are there though.
I know, but I be having a hard I can't I don't know. It's something wrong with me. When it comes down to math, it's just like a bunch of words,
You got to stop doing
numbers,
it.
and I just look at it and just start crying. Like I just really can't do
Did,
this.
did, did you get the video? Can you see if the video works? You got to stop
Yeah,
thinking
I'm
that way because if certain things are like that with math, there's going to be people, situations that you have this fight or flight thing, and it's going to be hard on you. So you got to face your fears. But
yeah,
open
I'm
up
gonna
the
watch
link
the
and
video.
okay. So is
I
the
ain't got
video
no choice
running
but to
for
watch it.
you? Is the video
Yeah,
running
I
or
can
is it?
open up the video. I
Yeah, because
gotta
sometimes the
comment in the
videos
chat
don't
again.
show. That's why I was asking.
Comment something, say hi or K or something.
Okay. All right. So just go, fast forward the video and find what you need help on, and that's today's class. Okay. All right. So I think that's it. I'm gonna send you this video too in Edsby once it's processed. All right.
Okay.
You have all the notes. You have any questions for me before I let you go?
No.
Okay. Try to get it all done. I'll see you
I'm
in
gonna
class.
watch the video and try to do it.
Okay.
And
All right.
then
Get it
I'll
all
turn
done
them in.
before 8, and I'll see you in class tomorrow. I'm gonna stop the video,
Okay.
and I'll see you
See
later.
you.
All right.